Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, the 26th of September 2014. This is John FARACLAS from Allaboutshipping.co.uk. The seventh week that the Baltic Dry Index is just above the 1,000 points mark. And I'm saying just above because we have some droppings during the week. And only today we have the first upcoming of the market. Nothing much, not rich pickings, but still. So, at 1,049 points, the BDI that closed earlier on today, it's 11 points up since yesterday, the 25th, but on the other hand, it's 26 points down. Overall, the Baltic is 52.5% below the closing of the December's last day, which was at 2,247 points. So this is an important issue that we're still on the fall. And we are very pleased. We are not like any Tom, Dick and Harry to offer you nonsense about the markets over the last 3 years that this medium is up. And of course, our previous and personal history and success in predicting the markets is coming out true completely. The only medium, the only analyst that has sided by the truth and not to offer you the nonsense that you read and see in the markets. And you can see the result of what has happened. Everything is in written, and you can see how successful people are when they follow our medium. The BCI was up 15 points at 1,852, which on the other hand is 260 points down since last week. Caution here. The Panamaxes and their respective index, the BPI, was up 8 points at 807 since yesterday, but on the other hand it was 7 points down since last week's 814 points. The BSI was up 7 points yesterday at 1053 and 14 points up since last week where it stood at 1029 points. The BHSI was just up 1 point at 526 since yesterday, and on the other hand, it was at a better proving size at the increase of 28 points this last week when it stood below the 500-point mark at 498. So all in all, it's a downward market. You like it or not, this is the reality. The Wets, on the other hand, they have produced mixed, let's call it, results and feelings. The 30 index, the BTI, closed up 3 points at 608. It was continuously on a free fall situation. It's the first time we see in days and weeks that it is up 3 points, but it was down 7 since last week when it was at 615. The CLINS, the BCTI, closed down, BCTI was just on a no change situation of 554 points, no change here, but it was up 2 points since last closing at 552. On the world stage, Ukraine looks a bit better, but there's more trouble looming in the background. There are sanctions, and these sanctions affect everybody. The issue is how many have done risk assessment vis-à-vis what it could have happened. Because if you know geopolitics, things just don't happen like this. Take, for example, in Greece, Ternose, in trouble to finalize the deal with the Russians because of the sanctions. This is nonsense, poor nonsense, because not a single Greek analyst or the advisors, I repeat this, has ever told them what it might happen if this situation appears, which was looming in the background. The Middle East. The Middle East is producing the worst. Now we have the major powers that they can afford it. They can afford it to go and bomb the ISIS, the ISIL, as it's being called now. So this is very interesting to see. But as we have reiterated our view, we would like to see the job being finished. We have been zeroed in Afghanistan. You see what is going on in Iraq and elsewhere. And we would like to see an end to this inappropriate actions by those who order the military to go and do the job. Okay? You know that well what I mean. Libya, a big melee there. The militias are ruling the ports and the trade there. You know, despite some rise of exports, the militias are doing the business. This is not on. Imagine if you have, terrorists dealing down in Thames, or in any other refinery. So this is not on. Europe still is trying to find a way there. The big focus on Europe is the economy and unemployment, and of course some nations' behavior. Greece, for example, is again at the spotlight, and unfortunately, if things go the way they go, we're going to see a very big melee in Greece with incalculable repercussions. Okay? Those who believe that as they are now in oppositions, they will make Greece feel better, they better stay pat and stay out of it. On the other hand, those who currently rule Greece, the current coalition, either they make or break, who had enough nonsense and enough arrogance by the leaders of this coalition. The result is evident. It's a double digit now, the difference between the opposition and the government. So, in particular, the New Democracy Party, which is in tatters with Syriza, the left-wing party in Greece. Of course, we repeat, we have heard this before, with the famous Andreas Papandreou, famous in 66-99. You can see where he led Greece and what has happened, and his offsprings, of course. Things must be told. Conservatives must choose a leader, a real leader, to take the political game in his hands and make Greek flourish. Okay? You can see, on the other hand, the masters of the seven oceans, the Greek shipowners, that they rule the waves. Isn't that triggering why they can do this and why the country cannot produce a real captain of politics to run this nation? This is very, very important. Now, other things which are, of course, of interest to us is the Far East, and again, we have some issues there to see. Africa, the Ebola is getting worse and worse and worse. Here in London and in other capitals of the West, we are on a high alert. There were terrorists arrested just recently, hours ago, and this is not on. Okay? Illegal immigration. This standoff on the island of Cyprus between the cruise vessel and immigrants, again, it was a very big problem. Talking about Cyprus, I was present in the launching of the book of Victoria Hislop, The Sunrise. Talks about Cyprus. It's time this issue gets a solution. We will see now with WISTA, International AGM and Conference there, that something better comes out of it for shipping and for peace in the region. Ayumi is just off in Hong Kong, and of course we have to mention, before we close this report, the ever fantastic, successful, I don't find any better words to say, conference, the 7th Capital Link event in London on finance or shipping, you name it, was fantastic. There are more to come there, and you can see in other pages, and of course the celebration of the World Maritime Day at the IMO, it is very, very important. Lastly, before we say goodbye for this weekend, remember the summer is on worldwide. We can afford it and go down. This time, guess where? To the idyllic Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an amazing place for those that haven't been there, and enjoy there, have a flight, enjoy your weekend, and beware, rain is coming. This is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk from London. Over and out.